Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wind, Reel, and Print. My name is Ryan.
And my name is Kevin.
And today we are talking about a movie that we got to see together in the theater, which was fun. Mm-hmm. IMAX, screen, AMC,
Premiere.
Nicole Kidman. Yeah, no, we did. Yes, we are recording this. This is dating the recording process.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we got to see the premiere of it in the theater. And the movie is The Brutalist.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. Starring Adrian Brody, Guy Pearce, Felicity Jones, Joe Alwyn, I think that's how you say his last name, and a number of other actors. Mm-hmm. The guy who played Billy in Jurassic Park 3, I forget what his name is.
Stacey Martin? Oh,
yeah.
No. Just kidding.
No.
Sorry.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good. Do you have the information up? I actually didn't pull it up. Who directed The Brutalist?
Brady Corbet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know him from Vox Lux.
Yes.
With Natalie Portman.
Did you like Vox Lux?
No. I mean, we can kind of talk about it later when we go into it. But yeah, I feel like it's definitely, people have already kind of drawn lines throughout his filmography in terms of like themes that he goes for, or characters that he's interested in. Yeah. And I feel like it definitely has a weight on this film.
Oh, okay.
It definitely carries over, yeah.
Yeah, I saw he starred in, or was in the movie Funny Games, the remake.
Oh.
As the, I don't know what the character's name is, but as the other one of the, of like the torturers. So obviously you have kind of the lead torture guy, and then
Pita.
Pita, his sidekick, or basically kind of like, you would say like the fat one in the first one. And so that's very interesting because I felt like I had seen him before. I have never seen that Naomi
movie?
Watts starring Funny Games.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'd ever seen, Oh, he was in something that I did see, and now I'm forgetting. But
Brady Corbet.
Yeah, was in. I think it might have even been a TV show.
24. Law and Order.
No, so no, unless there's something
King
else.
of Queens.
No.
Oliver Bean. Greetings from Tucson.
No.
Oliver Kitteridge.
No, this isn't helping. We're gonna hit the brakes.
Melancholia.
Now. I have seen Melancholia, so maybe that's where I've seen him from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in a Noah Baumbach movie.
Oh.
Wow.
But so this is like an actor and director and all of the things, which is interesting. I think the performances are one of the very interesting aspects. Kevin's got a face.
He's from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh, I got married in Scottsdale.
Wow. Connection.
Fun. Yeah, connection. But The Brutalist is about an architect fleeing from war-torn Europe after World War II, and basically starting a life in America, kind of getting thrown down, getting treated badly, and then eventually his artistic ability is discovered by a extremely wealthy tycoon or whatever he is. Did we ever find out what he did? Guy Pearce's character?
I
guess it doesn't
rich.
matter, obviously. He's very like Rockefeller-esque.
Yeah.
Kind of guy, like old money, classically rich.
Yeah.
And his kids are kind of always close by, making sure things go a certain way, taking advantage.
Investments.
Yeah.
They run investments in projects and businesses and stuff.
Fun.
Yeah. Funds.
And so, the movie basically follows Adrian Brody kind of going through this over a period of like a decade or so.
Yeah.
And then eventually a big time jump.
To his end of his life.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Or Great Gatsby. Just like this person in close relation to a super rich guy and needing to succumb to his needs or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So off the bat, right out the gate, this movie had unbelievable cinematography and sound and
the music.
Oh my God. I mean, I was just like blown away.
It was an experience.
It's been a while since I've seen a movie like that good in that realm and taking itself so seriously and just doing it in such a good job. That, I mean, even just that first shot of the Statue of Liberty as he's making it to America,
like going upside down.
It just blew my mind.
And you're like, oh,
yeah. And there was even an overture at the beginning, and it just had this very movie quality.
Yeah,
like it really took itself seriously as a movie, which was really cool.
Yeah. Right away, right off the bat, you're just like, okay, I'm going to take my seat and really dive into this. Because, when a movie has an overture, that's when you know it's like really going to be an experience.
And not only that, it also had an intermission, too, which was really cool. And
really thoughtful.
It was, because it also just felt like this is what we need.
Yeah.
Because it
taking a chance.
Yeah, it gave people even a chance, obviously, to get a bathroom break, get some more snacks and everything. But people were just kind of standing around, talking, like enjoying the public space.
Yeah.
Which we need more of.
Yeah.
And that's something I also really love about like musicals and plays and things like that in the theater. Because, there's just something like you get to stand around and talk about what you just saw, analyze it, absorb it a little bit more. Right. And it makes it, it's just a much better experience versus what we, nowadays do, which is like you hear people constantly whispering to each other through an entire movie because they're like, what's that? What's that? Oh my God.
What'd they just say?
Yeah. You have to get, and if there were times like that, I think that's great. There's some things that we figured out in the early days of filmmaking and film projection and all of these things that we just felt we're needlessly evolving for no
I remember you at the intermission being like because I was admiring the Guy Pearce's character, just thinking how like kind of funny and like weird he was, and you're like, yeah, but I just feel like something is gonna happen. Like you were kind of suspicious of like the way the story was arcing, and then that was in the back of my mind like throughout that ending part, when they go to the mine and like everything, and I was like, God damn, like I mean, Ryan was spot on, knowing exactly.
It felt like that, and that was also a cool thing about it. I mean, it was very like the movie, the first half, it's pretty much up the entire time, and that's a lot of movies do it that way. And it's the midpoint is kind of when everything swaps,
right?
And it's like within the first 5 minutes of the second part, Guy Pearce is making racist comments at Adrian Brody because he's Jewish, and saying all of these like very, all of these anti-Semitic tropes and just the tropes about Eastern Europeans
throwing
and things like that.
At him and stuff,
exactly. It's very obvious and gross. And then basically it's just kind of like
evolves.
Yeah. And it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Oh my God.
So I wanted to give a lot of applause to the form that the film was taking, and it was the very intentional use of cinematography and of sound as well. Yeah, I really, really liked that, because you just see so many. There were even some trailers that we saw for movies, and I'm just like, it bums me out when the camera just isn't doing what the camera should do, and it's just so basic, and maybe even lighting too. Like bring the camera lower, get closer to your subjects. Like there's just make it interesting. Yeah, make it interesting. I find that's always just like
take a chance.
Yeah. We honestly, we need more wide angle like lenses and that's what we really need more of. I'm always down for that.
Get weird with it.
Yeah. Let's get freaky deaky.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's the point of the camera, right? This is your tool. This should be your way of expressing the story. Like, obviously, you can capture it in a way that, like, we all know and understand. But is that really, like, bringing anything new to the table?
Yeah.
And there's definitely something with this film, like, and I think a lot of people recognize that, easily because it's so forefronted, right? Like it's hard not to notice the camera work and the music. Like the music is amazing. I don't know who did it, but
it was so good. And there were even some really great
Daniel Bloomberg.
Yeah, there were some great parts that weren't even like that weren't just like soundtrack music either. That were like totally different genre. Like there was even like a disco part at the kind of near the end, I think maybe.
Right.
That I was just like, dang, this is
like wasn't all traditional score. It was like keeping it fresh.
And to experience that in IMAX is really, really cool.
Fuck yeah.
Like, I mean, that's really the point of IMAX.
Right.
You know?
Is to get the full, like, sound and visual experience. Yeah. Because I feel like they use the IMAX form. Because the IMAX aspect ratio is, like, its own thing, too. So,
it is, yeah.
Like, being able to understand that kind of realm, I feel like made a lot of sense for, displaying it in this way.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. For example, I feel like Christopher Nolan doesn't know how to do it, but whatever.
I mean, that you'd have to take that up with IMAX. IMAX certainly believes that he's doing it perfectly.
Yeah, I know. $250 million for his next movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's a hand in hand partnership right there.
I know.
Yeah.
I just like I don't like his.
I mean, you just don't like Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't like the way he shoot. Oh man, should I air it out? I just don't like the way he kind of shoots his movies and the way even his philosophy with that kind of stuff. He'll say on mic like, "I don't prioritize camera for when he's shooting his movies."
Yeah,
I'm just like,
so what does he prioritize?
Like, oh man, that like stupid film bro shit. Like, I want to be in the moment and capture the moment. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Whatever that means.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I certainly don't. I don't come to Nolan with as much of that.
Right.
As much stuff. But I guess I don't even feel that strongly about the guy.
Yeah.
But it is interesting it's interesting what directors make our skin crawl a little bit. Yeah. Like for me, it's James Cameron. Like I just really dislike the guy as an individual.
Philosophy,
and his philosophy and his like
that makes a lot
complete
of sense.
outlook on everything. I really don't like the guy.
I just don't like people who will outspokenly admire some of the greats and then not use any of those principles in their work.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he tries to echo Stanley Kubrick a lot, but then like doesn't do any of the Stanley Kubrick
And you're talking
things.
about Nolan.
Nolan, yeah.
Oh, I mean, his movies are nothing like Stanley Kubrick, in my opinion. Yeah,
exactly. So just like, it's okay, do your thing, but don't say that you're like trying to be this thing, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think you can, I know we're going off track, but that's just the way it is. Do you think Christopher Nolan, that there is such a thing as a Christopher Nolan movie? Do you think he is, least, he has his own defined characteristics?
Yeah, he definitely does his thing really well.
That's what I would say too.
Yeah. I just like I feel like similar to like the way we talk about Francis Ha within the world of mumblecore. Yeah. It's like, okay, if you're going to live in the blockbuster world and like do these movies and say that you're an auteur, quote unquote, like take that role seriously and like make a good movie. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like don't just say, oh, because I'm making a Batman film, I'm not going to take these things seriously, or I'm only going to work on these things, you know? Like, I guess your philosophy is up to you and like you can make your own fucking movie at the end of the day. But it's just like, why not take camera serious? Like, why not prioritize composition? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, why not just add that other layer into the movie? Make it that much more enjoyable and like a better experience, you know? I just like wish he would take it there, you know?
You should take it up with the guy.
I mean,
well, lucky for you, Kevin.
He's coming on next week.
I was just going to say, right behind door number 1. Come on in, Chris.
I would love to talk to him about it. Yeah. Like, I am genuinely curious, like, why he would take that position as this high steward of this art form.
Can you imagine asking him that?
I could, yeah. I mean, maybe not, but
I thought about that a little bit. Like I thought about.
I just feel so strongly about that one. I would have to. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I was. We're also recording this. David Lynch just recently died.
Yeah.
And I was listening to Edgar Wright talking about how he did this like Q&A or something. He was like showing some movies. Maybe it was Wild at Heart and something else. And he asked Laura Dern to come for a Q&A because he was like doing this thing at a theater, I think in LA, like every week, like kind of what we dream of doing, like bringing in, like watching movies, maybe even double features and then talking to people afterwards. And didn't know if she was going to be able to make it. She ended up making it. And then she was like, I also brought David Lynch comes walking through, and Edgar Wright was not prepared for that.
Shit himself.
and he was talking about how like he just butchered the first question, like he just did so bad because he was not like expecting the master to show up. And
oh my god,
I thought about that. I was like, I don't think I could have. There's just some people I don't think I could have ever been able to like
stand up against.
And David Lynch is definitely one of those where it's like I don't even know how I could like be in his presence.
So intimidating.
And especially with a guy like that, I have so much awe and respect, and I just want to listen.
Yeah.
Maybe that's also kind of
for sure
what it is.
Like, what do I need to say in that moment? Let me just take a moment to like hear what you have.
And he was also the kind of guy that wasn't afraid to call bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's also really scary is when someone like stoically is like, no, I'm not going to answer that. Or I'm not going to like, that's stupid.
Right.
That's always really scary.
And to get shut down.
Yeah. And that's why I'm not a journalist or a reporter or anything. Cause it's hard to do that. I've got a lot of respect for that.
Yeah. A lot of bravery. And courage.
All right, let's pull back.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the Brutalist. We've talked.
So what would you ask Brady Corbet?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Brady. So we talked about the form.
Yeah.
So kind of gotten that out of the way. The IMAX, that to me, that was the best part.
Yeah.
Of the whole thing.
Sure.
It was really powerful, and I could also see people getting lost in that too. It is so
beautiful.
It's so beautiful and so powerful.
And also to point out that, to bring it into the title, The Brutalist, like brutalism as a architecture style is definitely evident in some. I had read this, so this is not original thought. Yeah. But
I'll edit that out so that people think it is.
People are like, just take the credit. But the style of brutalism is definitely evident in the cinematography. And even just like the whole design of the film, I
think that's such a great point. Yeah, because Brutalist is in your face, like different, strange, very unnatural in a lot of ways. Like it's just like sharp angles and cement. And I personally love Brutalism as an architecture form. And so I've always been really into that. Yeah. And I don't know if you know, I mean, even better than brutalism is eco-brutalism. That's actually my favorite. Adding plants in there. Like Brutalist in a jungle.
Yeah.
That is the coolest thing of all time to me.
I feel like the Oakland California Museum.
The Oakland Museum of California. Yeah.
They got some like brutalism in there.
Yeah. The more cement, the better. No. Their patio.
Yeah, when you walk into their garden, it feels like you're going into like a Roman battleground thing.
Yeah. Shout out Oakland Museum of California. That's a very cool location. But yeah, so that the form, in your face, epic,
beautiful.
But there's more to a movie than just
these things.
Yeah. So. Off the bat, the acting, it was interesting. Adrian Brody, I think, is great, and I think he's really powerful.
Obviously, he was going to kill that performance.
He was going to kill it, but it just doesn't feel like anyone stepped up to his level.
Yeah, I agree.
And
especially Felicity Jones.
Yeah, it also just feels like the way it was written,
it was weird.
It just everyone else felt very, and maybe even Adrian Brody was too. Yeah,
Guy Pearce was great to me.
Yeah,
I thought he was awesome.
Yeah, I guess probably that's definitely the second level after that for sure.
Yeah,
you can believe it. But yeah, no, that was like, I hate to say it, but yeah, no, the Felicity Jones, it was just like, it just doesn't
match to me.
Yeah. And she's always been an actress that just has always felt a little off in the, so.
I agree.
I don't know. And
odd casting.
Yeah, that's it just felt all around. It just felt like the writing was a little funky.
Yeah.
Because I also think maybe it was,
that tracks.
Yeah, and I think just Adrian Brody and Guy Pearce as well are like
great actors,
very classic, great actors that they can kind of turn
anything into magic.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because I had that similar reaction in Vox Lux. It's just like such a great idea for a film, but the writing and the approach to character and story just feels kind of floppy.
Yeah.
And then that leads into this acting that's like kind of not substantive or doesn't go there, you know? Or if you're not that well equipped as an actor, it's harder to find your grounding in the space because to me, I don't feel like they're like, I don't know, just like a general blanket statement. I don't really care for the way this guy writes his films.
Yeah.
It just feels like not complete or, you know, the thematically not strong enough or doesn't end in a good way or whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Someone had written or had pointed out that like a common theme is like the ways trauma affects personality or person identity and stuff. Because in Vox Lux, it's like this Natalie Portman's character experiences like a school shooting and then becomes a pop star. And then it becomes this weird, warped, like trauma always following her in weird ways. Like, there's always these like traumatic events.
Really interesting idea.
Yeah, and it just felt very like surface level in the way it was treating like emotion and character, I feel like. And I don't know if it's that like blatantly bad like that in The Brutalist. Like I definitely feel like The Brutalist is an elevated film and definitely deserves a lot of this recognition that it's getting like this award season. But there is something in the way the film kind of ends and rounds out that feels weird compared to like the first 3 hours, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd say even the first hour and a half.
Right.
I think after that, the movie does start to get really wobbly as it's like attaching more weight onto it.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
And
good visual.
Yeah, because the first half was just like a rocket ship.
Yeah.
It was so good, and you could kind of see like what was happening and where it was going, but then the way it just goes after in that second half is just strange.
Yeah.
And especially the way it ended was strange to me.
Right.
I definitely left just being like, what?
Like, what is this saying?
What?
Yeah. Because like definitely in the first half, it's like commenting on capitalism.
Yeah.
On like the sacrifice, you know,
of being
survival.
An immigrant.
Yeah. And like prejudice, you know, being subjected to bigotry and stuff. So.
And there was like almost an angle it could have gone where he was the lucky one,
right?
Because he was the artist,
right?
And like was able out of everyone to be plucked out. Never goes there or anything like that. It's not about that at all.
Like a chosen one sort of narrative.
There's an interesting, like what does that mean? What do you use that power for?
Right.
Sort of thing. But no, this is just like a guy. Like what happens when someone's plucked out and becomes a big star, I guess, you know.
Yeah, because I feel like the second half dips into the biopic like tropes of just like a life event, and not really tying it to theme or character or anything in a way. I don't know. That's how I kind of read it.
Yeah, obviously
towards the end. Yeah,
obviously the biggest scene in the entire second half is the Guy Pearce, Adrian Brody in the marble mine.
Yeah, that was pretty. I wasn't expecting that.
I was absolutely not expecting that at all. That was very interesting. It certainly didn't feel like it did. didn't belong. Like it definitely made sense. Yeah, it definitely fit into that. It was just very interesting.
Yeah.
And then obviously that event becomes like basically the entire crux of the movie after that.
Right.
And is like the big, very Christopher Nolan-esque ending where it's like
good versus evil.
Yeah, it's like it's like let's really throw it in their face about how bad they are, sort of thing.
They have to be punished.
Which I roll my eyes at that sort of thing. Like that scene with Felicity Jones walking in.
Just like, okay.
I was like
like, did this really happen?
Yeah. Question: was this a real guy?
Yeah, this is a real.
Okay,
story.
I didn't know this was a real. It never once said based on a true story, so I didn't know. I thought it was just made up.
Right.
I have no idea. It would make a lot more sense if it was, but then it just feels a little. I don't think it is.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, maybe it isn't.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a biopic without the truth. Because it also feels like almost too
Perfect.
tight to be and too wrapped up to be like an actual biopic.
Whoa.
Oh, did that just send you through
No, yeah, I just had thought it was a real person.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. He's real.
Oh, he is real.
Right?
I have no idea.
Oh, no, this is a different person. Okay, continue.
Yeah. But no, just the way it ended things there at the end with Felicity Jones and kind of like the Christopher Nolan style thing. Even I did like where it went after that, which is basically like Guy Pearce like disappearing. Like there was some amazing visuals, very Third Man-esque, going through this Brutalist building at night. Mm-hmm. A lot of really amazing religious iconography
in the mines. You're saying, or just in general?
No. I was talking about when they after Felicity Jones. Basically goes after him at the end. Guy Pearce's character disappears, and they basically go searching for him because they think maybe he killed himself.
Right. Third Man.
Yeah. And it's a very Third Man esque lighting and style during that as they're kind of like going through this Brutalist building, searching for where he is, and then basically you never see him, but they end up on this cross, this light that forms a cross on the marble altar. That's kind of where that whole thing ends, and then we just skip forward in time, and then it's basically an exhibit for Laszlo. Is that his name? Laszlo.
Laszlo.
And then it just was like that was just a weird way to end it too.
Yeah. Okay. That makes me like it less. Like
that it's not a real person?
That it's not a real person.
Oh, interesting. What can you explain that? Why?
Because then because I excused the ending as being like about the person. Like we have to honor this person. But if it's all made up, then I think that's cheesy. I think that's like a dumb way to like end a movie. Or just even the whole second half. Like, yeah, holy shit. That just like recontextualizes everything for me. That like, because I think when you do a biopic, it is about style. I think style has to be forefronted. Again, like with the Nosferatu thing, right? Like, because the story is so etched in stone, you can't really like change a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
The style kind of has to come out. You know, that's why I think like Baz Luhrmann is good at that or whatever. Or like a Sofia Coppola biopic just makes sense, right? But to have like, you're gonna make up all of this, like if this is all made up and you like decided to like write all this like in this way, oh man, I can't really excuse any of that now.
Yeah.
You know, I can't hold that like space for you because now you decided to put all of this in here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. This isn't based on anything more than like a metaphorical thing. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's just a regular movie.
You're right.
Yeah,
and so now that kind of cheapens a lot of the stuff for me. Mm-hmm. It takes out a lot of the air in terms of like the meaning of all this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now you're constructing a narrative.
Yeah. It's completely intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that bothers me because I definitely don't like, I feel like it does to now get into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Get in that part.
I definitely think this is like a pro-Zionism movie.
Yeah.
And is like trying to communicate those sorts of like messages or values within the thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so if this is all a contrived narrative, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I cannot mess with that.
Kevin's melting.
Sorry.
Kevin's melting.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, and I definitely left the movie because I'm definitely not a Zionist. I didn't really even catch like the movie what it was trying to do, and by the end of the movie, I was like, I don't really know what the movie was trying to say. But as soon as you kind of realize, like, oh, it does have like Israel in this movie is home.
Yeah,
it's the place where you go, and because the movie is constantly telling you and telling like Jewish people, you do not belong. You do not belong. Get away. You are an other here, and nothing will change that ever. Right. And then there's a number of scenes of characters basically going to Israel and what that means, and that and even starting with the what is it, the UN declaration.
The speech thing.
Yep.
Because that caught me really off guard. I was like, oh, what? Like, I didn't realize.
Yeah, it could have been very interesting, but it wasn't made by me or you.
Right.
It was made by this guy.
Yeah. And having that perspective, because I will say that using this, like the architect thing within the metaphor of like finding a home, I think is a really interesting way of putting that.
Yeah.
I think that is a cool thematic like threading just to like imply. But I think using that within Zionism, I definitely don't agree.
Yeah.
agree with that, you know? And then I think that one scene that you're referring to where the niece goes to Israel with her new husband.
Yes.
And then Adrian Brody's character and Felicity Jones, they kind of like don't agree with that notion of doing that. And they speak on the idea of like, you know, just because I'm not in Israel doesn't mean I'm not Jewish. Yeah. I think that's an important like thing, or an important like dialogue that is occurring in the Jewish community today, especially with like everything that's going on with Israel and Palestine, like in the news now. So like, I thought that was an important thing to include when you're like discussing that within the narrative, but then they reel back on it later on when they eventually go, right?
Yeah.
Like, so to me, I'm like weird on that. And then the very ending, her speech with the retrospective, whatever. And then that quote of like, sometimes it's not about the journey, it is about the destination.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that feels birthrighty to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just like, it felt very weird.
Yeah, it was a movie about place. And it was a movie about kind of like the importance
like
of place.
Belonging.
Because there was also like, he had made buildings in Eastern Europe and things like that.
Trained at Bauhaus.
Yeah, exactly. Like that were either destroyed. Like I think in a lot of cases they survived the war.
Yeah.
And it was kind of talking about that. But just like there were all of these things that are him all over.
Right.
And they are like specific locations and how important that is to him.
And the brutalist style is like very obvious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so... yeah, I mean, that's what it was trying to say.
Yeah, that was definitely the message. Yeah. I definitely got it.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't at first because I was like, I just don't think like that at all. And now I realize like, oh, got it.
Yeah, because whenever that excerpt with the UN thing came up, I was like, okay, I'm thinking now. You have me thinking. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Because
it was great.
Yeah, it's just an interesting way to frame it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it is important, right? Because they are at a very diasporic, like, community. So the idea of belonging and having a home, I think that's an important thing, you know?
And I certainly don't didn't like even deny that those feelings weren't real or anything like that. And that even like, I definitely reading about Israel and everything like that and getting to understand it a lot more and the history of it, you definitely see what people thought back in those days. I mean, it was like there was a giant propaganda machine pushing that they were making the desert bloom and they were the only democracy in the Middle East and all of these things. Like, crazy. And so people fell for that for a very, very long time. Yeah. And luckily it's finally like, I don't think they're going to be able to put it back in terms of like their reputation.
I don't know.
But I mean, they don't have to.
It's so big. The machine is so big.
Well, yeah, but they don't. Yeah, but in terms of like public like PR, they can't win. I don't think they can win the PR battle again. But they don't have to.
Who knows? They have that freaky like, you know, whatever their PR. They have like a crazy PR.
Yeah, it's the Mossad or something like that.
Yeah.
No, it's like that's
it's like Secret Service.
Yeah, exactly. Shit. Yeah, it's been like almost like since the beginning. It's like their PR is the most important thing to them.
Yeah. That's like how it all works. Yeah.
But they've done some really bad PR over the past year, and they just basically.
Yeah.
But that's a totally different conversation. But it's a movie that is talking about Israel, and that's how it lands the plane. It lands it in Jerusalem.
That is a crazy metaphor.
Which you take it or leave it, and this is a good time to also kind of like talk about like a movie that disagrees with your own,
right? Especially post like Birth of a Nation and Jazz Singer, kind of fits in that realm.
It's interesting how like you have to ask yourself like, am I being like too sensitive? Like that's an interesting like question, or like, can I not enjoy something that is different than my own opinions? Obviously, I think this one is I mean, compared like Birth of a Nation, you look at it and it's like that is so clearly. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's like evil, like how racist it is, and how it's like it's lying, and it's intentionally trying to like. I mean, it's just like insane. Jazz Singer is less so, but it's still it feels more of the time versus just like the Birth of a Nation felt like an action.
But isn't a more subversive film more dangerous because people don't know how to critically like engage with that material? You know what I mean?
I mean, do I think? But it depends.
Like I feel like Zionism, pro-Zionism, is not good.
Yeah,
at the level of Birth of a Nation, you know. Because you're still like
the Brutalist is not Birth of a Nation.
Pro-Zionism.
Not. I mean, it would be different if it. I mean, there's what's that? Not Meryl Streep. Not Judi Dench. Oh man, one of the dames. That movie about whatever the prime minister of Israel was way back in the day. The female prime minister. I mean, that's really bad. Is like painting it like that. This is like not as bad as like saying that like all these things about black people and that they're.
I don't know.
And I mean, Birth of a Nation is lying,
but you're still creating like an ideological narrative to make like this thing okay, to like frame this thing as like good. Mm-hmm. Birth of a Nation and The Brutalist. I agree what you're saying. Like Brutalist is not Birth of a Nation in that regard, but I feel like when you look at the mechanisms of film and the way they communicate messages, it's dangerous, you know?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And I kind of like body rejects, like, I can't agree with science. Like, I can't like that. And I don't have the, like, I can compartmentalize. I can enjoy The Brutalist for its movie stuff. Mm-hmm. And still think critically about the story and everything. Yeah. But I don't think that affects like either side. You know what I mean? But I think it is important to bring it up because I don't know. I think this is a crazy thing to like make a movie out of.
Yeah.
during this time. And for that to be the statement, I don't know. Oh man, it's such a weird thing, and I feel like people aren't talking about it.
No. Yeah,
you know,
because it's like, it's just kind of like it's there, but it's not like they never show Israel or go to Israel. It's just kind of like talked about. It's kind of like this destination,
right?
But it's very. I mean, it is intentional. I mean, they especially in the beginning. I mean, they're literally reading. I don't know if it's the Balfour Declaration, but it's like the creation of Israel document,
right?
And
in 48,
yeah.
So yeah,
it's definitely that's what the movie was trying to say.
Yeah, I personally cannot get behind it or like understand it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like at the root, it's trying to like, what's it called? Like favor that. I can't think of that word. Fuck. Like favor that side of the narrative or whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's like propping it up. Even it's like really. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, whatever the word is.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's uncomfortable. You know, because people fucking die from that shit. So
yeah, and I think, I mean, there's something to be said about a lot of things. Not to even play devil's advocate, but there's just like movies talk about a lot of evil things that we've in a lot of ways have become totally numb to.
Exactly.
Because there's plenty of movies that like talk about like the American West and stuff like that, and the American West is.
Fucked up.
It's almost the exact same as Zionism.
Exactly.
And yet,
that's
like
doing the same shit.
Yeah.
But that's why people fucking don't like John Ford or don't like John Wayne, because they're basically like modern day D.W. Griffith.
Yeah, I mean, they were like explicitly racist.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't speak to John Ford, but I'm guessing that there was some. John Wayne absolutely was explicitly.
Right.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Like, neither of us have really talked in that way about these things before, but this one feels like very clear, like, because it's kind of all around us right now, and it's been like we've really seen it ramp up.
Yeah. I mean,
it feels very.
Yeah. I also took, for context, like this class at State that talked about like a lot of this it was called like Islam. It was about Islamophobia, and they talk a lot about this issue specifically, like with Palestine and Israel. So I definitely get charged up by like that topic pretty easily because we had a Palestinian teacher.
Oh, nice.
So it was very like that centered and
that's good.
Yeah. So definitely, yeah. And then this happened like shortly after that, after taking the class, you know? So it's like, oh, okay. There's some truth here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I feel like in general, actually, never mind. Redacted.
Yeah, but it's also like, and I didn't mean to even make it like the Olympics of suffering, like suffering Olympics in terms of, but it's just an interesting when movies really use these things and like turn like frontierism into like a heroic quality, is interesting, and can be poisonous. This feels like it has kind of a poisonous quality to it.
I don't know. I'm maybe in my shit, but whatever.
I mean, I think you, especially because you just learned that it was not an actual thing.
Yeah,
you're still on that right now. So I totally get it.
I just can't like if there was another way to process this movie. Yeah, I think I would be okay. But I think because that's such a big part of it.
Oh, it's definitely the message.
I can't. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. Well, there you go, folks. I think that's probably we've reached the I can't stage of the conversation, and that's when we pull the chute. Wow, I mean, there was a lot. This episode actually talked about a lot of stuff.
Was it a long one?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely over 40 minutes.
Okay, cool.
That's so. Well, thanks, folks.
Thanks for sticking around.
Thanks for sticking around. We went all over the map, all over the world, all over the ideas.
Yep.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
Oh, yeah.
And how about this? We'll see you next time.
That's a wrap.
Bye-bye.
Wind, Reel, and Print is a podcast by Salad Brain Productions. You can find us on Instagram at Wind, Reel, and Print Pod. You can also find us wherever you get your podcasts. And please, if you like the show, leave a rating and review. We'll see you next time.